So that has been my prayer point. And I noticed that for the past 10, 15 years, all the men that started coming, it was like, hell let loose. Anyone that comes will be like, okay, get pregnant, then we do the wedding. Wow. There was even one that did introduction. After the introduction, he just like, if you don't get pregnant, my family said there's not going to be marriage. And I was like, what happened? He said his family wants to know if I am fruitful. And I said, if it is fruitfulness, my family is fruitful. That I know.
Hey guys, hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So I was scrolling and came across this video of this Nigerian woman who was on an audience asking, I think a pastor or something like that with his wife, pretty much that she's 40, she's not married, and everybody around her is really making her feel bad about it. You can see she's really broken. Her spirit just looks so down because everybody in her world has just made her feel that she's not of any use anymore. If anything, they're telling her, you know, you might as well just have a child because at this point marriage is just not going to happen. She said a lot of men have come into her life. They have, you know, even came close to marrying her, but then they tell her, you know, she has to prove that she's going to be fruitful, meaning that she can get pregnant before they marry her. She mentioned that I think 4 of her sisters had children out of wedlock because of the same reason. So she refuses and she's going against it. And they're just trying to make her really, really miserable about it. I get so mad when I see videos like this because it seems like marriage has now just become this thing that people do for everything else, but actually because they love someone. As I've said in other videos, it is for the events, it is for the ring, it is to have the title of Mr. and Mrs. And it's no longer about like, wow, you meet somebody and you let things flow and go naturally. Especially in the African community, the Nigerian community, it seems like this marriage thing is pushed so much that people don't even care that somebody could be marrying the person who's going to abuse them. They're going to be struggling in that marriage. They're going to go through so much. Nobody cares about that. Everybody's just like, just get married and get on with your life. That is what is being pushed. You know, putting people to go to desperate lengths, you know. And you've seen a lot of stories where women have come on here, all the stuff that happened to them because they decided to get involved with someone, get married just because the societal pressure was strong and people were talking. There was rumors spreading that something was wrong with them and this and that. So they rushed into it, you know. For a long time, you guys know I've said in my channel over and over, I was against marriage. Marriage was not something that was appetizing to me just because of the ones I saw around me. You know what I mean? I just was like so focused on everything else but actually getting married because I had to see something. It's like I had to see positive marriages around me for my mind to change about it. So thank God I met somebody who did show me that. And I was like, okay, I don't mind doing life with this person. But other than that, I was like, oh, well. The other thing is I'm so glad to be in the U.S. because in the U.S., you know, if you decide that you don't want to get married, oh, well, you know, life goes on. People might ask you here and there, but hey, life goes on. Nobody's going to come down and be talking down to you and calling you names and all that stuff because, ooh, you're 40, you're older and you're not married. You know, it's a question that comes up in a lot. A lot of young ladies I've heard mention that, you know, they've gone to events and stuff like that. People will literally bring that up. And then the next question is, are you going to have kids? When are you going to have kids? Blah, 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 blah. I'm just over it. I am so against pushing people to get married when it's not going to be a good marriage. I just don't like that. Another story that I saw was this women that got together and they were told to wear white wedding dresses and go to this conference or whatever, and they were going to be prayed for so they can get husbands. And I'm just at this point, are we just pushing people to go to desperate lengths? Is that what we're doing? Because it almost seems like it's no longer about the meaningfulness of marriage. It's no longer about, you know, they say marriage is from God or whatever they say. And the way people are acting now, I'm like, no, it's not. This is a show, you know. It's just to have like, oh, I'm Mr. or I'm Mrs. and have that ring on your finger. Like, that's what it seems like. It's giving all the physical reasons, but not the deep down, the reasons for marriage. Like, I'm so bothered, guys. Like, why are we beating down on women? Even the ones that have chosen not to get married, why are we beating that down on them and telling them something is wrong with you? You know, why are we breaking down people's spirit because they are waiting for the right person? Why are we just in people's faces about it? Like, I'm just over it, guys. I'm so done with it. You know, the stories that I've seen on social media where people have just been in such bad situations, I'm like, I would never, even as a married person, I would never push that on someone. Yes, it's wonderful if you meet the right person and you're doing life with them. Yeah. But it's not my place. I don't like to bring things like that up about kids and marriage. I don't like to do that because I think it's something that should flow naturally. And even women that, I did a video that are proposing, even that bothers me because it's almost like we're so caught up in that we have to do this marriage. We have to do it. So for people that are not, it's like they're made to feel a certain way. And, you go places and that's the topic of the table. And I'm just like, how about we focus on making sure people are good, that they're emotionally, physically, financially good. And then you could be like, oh, okay, you meet somebody. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Instead of breaking down people's spirit like this, like watching that lady made me sad. Like she's just like tired of hearing people tell her, just have a baby at this point. You're not going to get, the marriage is not going to happen. She's turning down men that have come into her life because she's like, no, that's not it. Like I remember when I was like early or late 20s, there was 2 people that proposed to me that wanted to marry me. And I said no, because at that time I was so into myself and I was like, I'm not ready to settle down and be somebody's wife and do the whole motherhood thing. I wasn't ready for that. And I was honest with myself. No matter what society was saying, at that time, a lot of people were coming up to my parents telling them that, oh, you have these girls, like, are they dating? Like, are they, there's people that we know we can introduce them to. And my mom was like, no, they're doing their thing. And that's one of the reasons I love my mom, because she was like, no. We're not concerned about marriage. So if I had a girl, I would do the same thing. I'm like, focus on you, take care of yourself, learn how to be independent and all that stuff. That's what I would tell her if I had a girl. Because I'm like, the marriage should be the last thing really there. No matter how old you get, it shouldn't be pushed. It shouldn't be something you're doing to prove a point to people. And we shouldn't make people feel this way, because that is just, it's bad to see that. To see somebody crying and broken down because people have just made them feel so bad that they're old and they don't have a husband. Why? Gosh, I get so worked up about it. Like, to hell, this conference is white dresses and praying and shaking people and doing all this stuff to them. Oh my gosh, for the husband to show up. How about just work on yourself and be yourself and enjoy life? And then the person might come along. How about that? What are we so concerned with about marriage? And to view somebody as a failure because they're not married? Really? Really? That's what determines somebody's worth or a woman's worth? Because it's harsher on women, I think. But yeah, the video just bothered me again, guys. Like, I can't stand it, Like, this question, married, I'm like, oh well, so be it. If it doesn't happen, oh well. But then again, I'm in the US, I don't know. Maybe it's different when you're in Africa, because I haven't been to Africa since I was little. So maybe that's the difference. I don't understand it because I'm in the US. I don't know what women that are in other parts of the world, are feeling. Maybe that's what I don't understand, because I know the talking and all that can really bother someone. After a while, it's just like, something's wrong with you. They need to check you out. Some people have been taken to priest and, they've been told to fast and do all this stuff in order for a husband. But I'm like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with praying for God to guide you and to align you with somebody that's right for you and things like that. I understand that. I mean, I prayed for that. I prayed for someone that certain qualities and characteristics. I understand that. But I never prayed for like, oh my gosh, just bring me a husband, Lord, bring me a husband. No, I didn't. I just prayed for a partner. I prayed for somebody who had good qualities. I prayed that I wanted to be a mom, and I let God do that, do his thing, But thank God I had family members that never really pushed that. And I'm glad, because it's just crazy.